I'm going to tell you something that might hurt. Something most people won't say to your face. The people around you right now, most of them aren't really your friends. They're spectators. They're waiting to see if you're worth their investment. Sounds harsh, right? But here's the truth nobody wants to admit. Success changes everything. Not just your bank account, not just your opportunities. It changes how people see you, how they treat you, how they suddenly remember your name. Today I want to show you why this brutal reality is actually the greatest gift you'll ever receive. Stay with me. I learned this lesson the hard way. Years ago, when I was struggling to build my career, I had plenty of people around me. People who said they believed in me, people who called themselves friends. But when I needed real support, when I needed someone to show up, most of them vanished. They had excuses. They had reasons. They had somewhere else to be. Then something shifted. I started winning. My work got recognized, opportunities came knocking, and suddenly those same people who were too busy before, they came back with smiles, with congratulations, with offers to reconnect. That's when I understood something painful but powerful. Most relationships are transactional. People invest their time and energy where they see potential returns. It's not evil, it's human nature. And once you accept this, you stop being surprised by it. The question isn't whether this is fair. The question is what you do with this knowledge. Let me share what I've discovered about friendship, success, and the brutal truths that can actually set you free. Let's get uncomfortable for a minute. Think about your circle right now, the people you call friends, the ones you spend time with, the ones you share your dreams with. Now ask yourself this question honestly. How many of them would still be there if you failed? I mean, really failed, lost everything, had nothing to offer, became someone who needed help instead of someone who could give it? That silence you're feeling right now, that's the truth settling in. Look, I'm not saying everyone in your life is fake. That's not the point. But I am saying that most people haven't been tested. You don't know who your real friends are until you have nothing to offer them. Some of you probably have people in your life right now who only call when they need something. You know exactly who I'm talking about. They disappear for months. Then suddenly your phone lights up and you already know before you answer that they want a favor. That's not friendship. That's networking with a friendly face. Here's what I've observed over decades of studying human behavior. People are naturally drawn to success. It's biological. Our ancestors survived by aligning themselves with the strongest members of the tribe, the ones most likely to find food, to provide protection, to increase everyone's chances of survival. That instinct hasn't gone anywhere. We're still tribal creatures. We still gravitate toward winners because being close to winners makes us feel like winners too. Being close to losers, that feels dangerous, like failure might be contagious. So people keep their distance when you're struggling. They watch from the sidelines. They wish you well from afar, but they don't get in the trenches with you. I know how this feels because I lived it. There was a time when I was nobody, just another person with big dreams and an empty wallet. I had ideas I believed in, work I was passionate about, but the world hadn't validated any of it yet. During that period, I noticed something interesting. When I talked about my goals, people's eyes would glaze over. They'd nod politely, change the subject. Some would even try to talk me out of it. Be realistic, they'd say. Have a backup plan. Don't get your hopes up. Were they being cruel? No, they were being practical. They were protecting themselves from investing in something that might not pay off. But here's what stung. Those same people who told me to be realistic, when I finally succeeded, they acted like they'd always believed in me, like they'd been in my corner the whole time. That's the game, my friend. And if you don't understand it, you'll spend your whole life confused, wondering why people treat you differently at different times, wondering why support appears and disappears like magic. It's not magic, it's math. People calculate what you're worth to them. They invest accordingly. The sooner you accept this, the sooner you can stop taking it personally and start using it to your advantage. Now, here's where most people get it wrong. They learn this lesson about human nature and they become bitter cynical. They start treating everyone like an enemy. They trust no one. They build walls so high that nothing can get in. That's a mistake. Because here's the thing. The brutal truth about friendship isn't meant to make you angry. It's meant to make you free. Let me explain. When you understand that most people are spectators waiting to see if you'll win, you stop seeking their approval. You stop waiting for permission. You stop needing validation from people who haven't earned the right to validate you. That's incredibly liberating. I spent too many years trying to convince people to believe in me, trying to prove myself to people who weren't paying attention, trying to win over audiences who had already decided I wasn't worth their time. What a waste of energy. The mindset shift that changed everything was this: stop trying to prove yourself to spectators. Just win. Let your results do the talking. Think about it like this. Imagine you're an athlete training for the Olympics. You're in the gym at 5 in the morning, pushing your body to its limits, sacrificing comfort for excellence. Do you need the people sitting in the stands to cheer for you during training? Do you need their approval while you're doing the hard work nobody sees? No, you need your own belief. You need your discipline. You need your vision of what's possible. The crowd will show up when you're standing on the podium. That's when they'll cheer. That's when they'll claim they always knew you'd make it. Let them. Their timing doesn't diminish your achievement. It just reveals their nature. Here's another shift that matters. Stop being surprised when people show you who they are. When someone disappears during your struggle, they're giving you valuable information. They're showing you exactly where you stand with them. That's a gift, even if it doesn't feel like one. I'd rather know the truth than live in an illusion. Some of you are holding on to relationships right now that you know aren't real. People who don't show up for you. People who only take and never give. People whose loyalty is conditional on your usefulness to them. Why are you protecting those relationships? Because you're afraid of being alone. Because you've invested too much time to walk away. Because you're hoping they'll change. They won't change. People show you who they are through their actions. Not their words. Not their promises. Their actions. When someone shows you they're not really in your corner, believe them. Thank them for their honesty and keep moving. The people who matter will reveal themselves, usually when you least expect it, usually when you're at your lowest and they choose to stay anyway. Those are the ones worth fighting for. All right, let's talk strategy. How do you actually navigate a world where most people are fair? We're the friends. How do you build genuine connections while protecting yourself from users and pretenders? First, become comfortable with a small circle. Listen to me carefully. You don't need 100 friends. You don't need thousands of followers who care about you. You need maybe 5 people, maybe less. People who have proven themselves through action, not words. Quality destroys quantity when it comes to relationships. I'd rather have 3 people who would bail me out of jail at 3 in the morning than 300 people who like my posts on social media. Those are completely different things. So stop measuring your worth by the size of your network. Start measuring it by the depth of your connections. Second, test before you trust. This sounds cold, but it's practical. Before you give someone access to your inner circle, watch how they behave when you can't do anything for them. Watch how they treat people who have nothing to offer. Watch what they do when nobody's watching. Character reveals itself in small moments. Do they keep their word on little things? Do they show up when they say they will? Do they remember details about your life that matter to you? These small tests tell you everything you need to know. I've learned to observe people carefully before deciding how much access to give them. Not because I'm paranoid, because I'm strategic. My trust is valuable. I don't hand it out like free samples at a grocery store. Third, become someone worth being friends with. Here's a question that might sting. Are you the kind of friend you're looking for? Do you show up for people when it's inconvenient? Do you celebrate their wins without jealousy? Do you support their dreams even when you're struggling with your own? If you want loyal friends, you need to be one first. I've noticed that people who complain most about fake friends often aren't great friends themselves. They expect loyalty they don't give. They want support they don't offer. They demand a standard they don't meet. That's not how it works. You attract what you are, not what you want. So become the kind of person that loyal, genuine people would want in their lives. Fourth, use the crowd without resenting them. Here's where it gets nuanced. Yes, most people are spectators. Yes, they'll only show up when you're winning. But that doesn't mean they're useless. It means you need to understand their role. Spectators have their place. They spread your message. They buy your products. They share your content. They create momentum that opens doors. You don't need them to be your best friends. You need them to play their part. The mistake is expecting spectators to act like family. They won't. They can't. That's not their role. So appreciate them for what they offer without demanding more than they can give. Use their energy without depending on their loyalty. Build with them without confusing them for your inner circle. Fifth, protect your energy ruthlessly. Every relationship costs energy. Some relationships give energy back. Others only drain. You need to know the difference. I've had to cut people out of my life who I genuinely cared about, not because they were bad people, but because the relationship was costing more than it was giving. I was showing up for them, but they weren't showing up for me. That math doesn't work long term. Your energy is limited. Your time is limited. You cannot pour endlessly into relationships that never fill back up. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do for yourself is walk away, not with anger, not with resentment, just with clarity. What should you avoid? Don't become paranoid. Not everyone is out to use you. Some people are genuinely good. Some friendships are real. Don't let your awareness of human nature turn into cynicism that poisons everything. Don't burn bridges unnecessarily. The spectators of today might become genuine supporters tomorrow. People grow, people change. Leave doors open when you can, and don't isolate yourself completely. Yes, protect your circle. Yes, be selective. But humans need connection. Total isolation isn't strength. It's a different kind of weakness. Let me be straight with you. What I'm describing isn't easy. It's not a weekend project. It's not something you figure out once and never think about again. Learning to navigate relationships with clear eyes is a lifelong practice. And there will be moments when it hurts. There will be people you trusted who disappoint you. People you invested in who walk away. People you thought were different who turn out to be exactly like everyone else. That pain is real. Don't try to skip over it. I remember a friendship I had for nearly 15 years. Someone I considered a brother. We'd been through everything together. Also, I thought when my success started growing, something shifted. I noticed a distance, a coolness, comments that had a little edge to them, jokes that weren't really jokes. Eventually, we had a conversation, and I realized something heartbreaking. He wasn't happy for me. My winning felt like his losing. My rise highlighted his stagnation, and instead of using it as motivation, he let it become resentment. We don't talk anymore. That loss still stings sometimes, because the friendship was real once, the connection was genuine, but success changes things. It reveals what was always there beneath the surface. Here's what I want you to understand. You will lose people on your way up, not because you did anything wrong, but because your growth exposes the limitations of certain relationships. Some people can only love the struggling version of you, the version that makes them feel safe, the version that doesn't threaten their own self-image. When you start winning, you become a mirror that reflects back everything they're not doing, and some people can't handle that reflection. Let them go. Not with bitterness, not with blame, just with acceptance. Their departure makes room for people who can match your energy, people who are inspired by your success instead of intimidated by it, people who want to grow alongside you instead of holding you back. Those people exist, I promise you. But you won't find them if you're surrounded by people who need you to stay small. So here's the truth we've been building toward. No one is your friend until you win. Not because people are evil, not because the world is cruel, but because that's how human nature works. People invest in winners. They gravitate towards success. They show up when there's something to gain. You can resent this or you can use it. I suggest you use it. Use it to stop seeking approval from people who haven't earned the right to judge you. Use it to focus your energy on winning instead of convincing. Use it to appreciate the rare, genuine connections that survive your success and your failure. The brutal truth is actually a filter. It separates the spectators from the real ones. It reveals who belongs in your inner circle and who belongs in the crowd. It shows you exactly where you stand with everyone around you. That's not cruel. That's clarity. And clarity is power. So here's my challenge to you. Stop waiting for people to believe in you. Believe in yourself. Stop asking for permission to pursue your dreams. Give yourself permission. Stop needing validation from spectators who will only clap when you've already won. Win first. Sort out the friendships later. The people who matter will still be there when the dust settles. They'll be the ones who stayed when staying was hard. The ones who supported when supporting cost something. The ones who loved the struggling version of you and the successful version equally. Those are your people. Everyone else is just an audience. And audiences are fine. Audiences have their place. But don't confuse an audience with a family. Don't mistake applause for loyalty. Don't trade genuine connection for popularity. Go build something great. Go become someone remarkable. Go win in whatever arena matters to you. And when you look around at the top of that mountain, you'll finally see clearly who was with you all along. Those few faces, those are your real friends. Everyone else was just waiting to see if you'd make it. You will. Now go prove it.